Welcome to the UGC e-Pathshala lecture series in computer science. In this series of lectures, we have been looking at a paper, database management system, and for today we will be discussing on structural query language, a tool that is basically required to process on different operators of database management. The major learning objectives that we will be discussing for today are to understand and learn the history of SQL, understanding the importance of SQL, learning to write SQL commands, understanding how querying works on this platform. To begin with, we look at how the word SQL was derived by looking at its history. In 1974, a person named Camberlin from IBM San Jones laboratory defined a language which was called Structured English Query Language in the beginning, that was abbreviated as SEQUEL, SQL. It should be pronounced as SQL. This has an expansion of Structured English Query Language, and later point a revised version, that means as a version 2, this SQL was defined in 1976, but the name was subsequently changed to SQL. Instead of SEQUEL, it was spelt as SQL for legal reasons. So that English pronunciation and the query QL is left alone. But then we will start pronouncing it as SQL. As it is written SQL, it should be pronounced as SQL. So still to be pronounced as SQL, though the official pronunciation is SQL. So IBM has subsequently produced a prototype for the DBMS, which was named as System R, which was majorly based out of SQL's version 2. So the roots of the SQL, however, are in square, specifying queries as relational expressions. This square is just an abbreviation for this, specifying querying as relational expressions, so which predates your System R project. Later in 1970s, Oracle appeared and was probably the first commercial RDBMS was based out of the SQL. In 1987, ANSI and the standard ISO published an initial standard for SQL. 1989, ISO published an addendum that defined an integrity enhancement feature, which would basically check out with the language comfort, the validity of the language. In 1992, first major revision to ISO standard occurred, which was referred to as SQL 2 or SQL 92, since it appeared in the year 1992, or it could be an extension, major revision, so it was named as version 2. In 1999, SQL 1999 was released with the support for object-oriented data management. So before 1999, all the enhancement that were made were basically with the operators and the standards that ISO has been providing with. But after 99, any operation that we wish to perform like inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism, hiding has also been incorporated into this SQL language. Now we will look at the importance of SQL. SQL has become a part of applications architecture such as IBM's system application architecture. So it is a strategic choice of many large and influential organizations like XOpen. This SQL has become an integrated component indirectly under any application which involves database. So SQL is a federal information processing standard to which conformance is required for all sales of database to American government. SQL is used in other standards and influences development of other standards as a definitional tool. So, anything that has got a major influence to be projected in terms of an application, the backend database would be a SQL which majorly influenced on other development standards. Some of the examples of these influences would also include ISO's Information Resource Directory system, which was later converted into relational table and was maintained as a particular standard named IRDS standard, and remote data access standard, which was also been part of development of SQL. Now that we will look at how to write commands in SQL. So this SQL, as it is pronounced as a language, it will give lot of command as instructions. So SQL has two different words or two different sets of commands that are to be used. SQL statement consists of reserved words and user defined words. Reserved words are a fixed part of SQL and must be spelled exactly as required. We have some syntax that is to be defined for every SQL, and these are supposed to be reserved words which mandatorily are to be used for as SQL commands. So reserved words are fixed part of SQL and must be spelled exactly as required and cannot be split across lines, whereas user defined words are not so. User defined words are made up by user and represent names of various data objects such as relations, columns, views, records, etc. Most components of SQL statement are case insensitive except for literal character data. We will look at more of those examples. More readable with indentation and lineation. To be very specific on this indentation and lineation, each class should begin on a new line. Start of a class should line up with start of other classes. If a class has got several parts, should each appear on a separate line and be indented under that standard class. So how do we write these SQL commands? So we use extended form of BNF notation, which has uppercase letters representing the reserved words, lowercase letters representing the user defined words, and we have a piping symbol which indicates the choice of alternatives. We have curly braces which indicate a required element. We have squared brackets which indicate optional element, and we have dots which indicate optional repetition, which is for more than a time. I refer it back again, these are the standard notations that we are about to use when we write SQL commands. Uppercase letters are for reserved words, lowercase letters are for user defined words, piping symbol as to indicate the choice of alternatives, curly braces indicate a required element, square brackets indicate an optional element, and dots indicate optional repetition which would happen for many number of times. So as a literal, literals are constants used in SQL statements. Say for example, all non-numeric literals must be enclosed within a single quote. Like non-numeric literals, say for example, I would have utilized several characters or a complete word. So in that case, these characters or a word need to be indicated within an single quote. All numeric literals must not be enclosed within the quotes. So if I am to indicate a number called 650, then I should not include within the quote. First we will see how a statement in a SQL language would look like. This is how we generally represent any statements. It's generally start with statement called select, and as indicated before, it has started with a square brace which can either take up distinct values or all values. This piping symbol is majorly to indicate either or. Either it should be distinct or it should be all type. Then we have a set of commands that are to be mandatory, which indicates star, either star or a column expression as a new name or something else. This is depending upon the table name, relation name, etc. From a table name, alias, etc. Where a condition need to be given, and it can even include group by clause, a having clause with a condition, and order by clause. So, if you look at the generalized statement syntax of a SQL language, it would indicate select, from, where, group by or having, order by as a standard list of syntax. It can even include more, where after select I can include a from which specifies the table that is to be used for this query. What is to be selected should have a where. So, where or from which table needs an indication of from which table I am to locate what value, and where would rather has come out with a condition which filters the exact rows. Group by forms group of rows with some column value. Having filters group subject to some condition, and order by specifies the order of the output. So, here as we have indicated, select, from, where, group by, having, order by, this flow cannot be changed. So, that is what we are trying to indicate here. Order of the clauses cannot be changed, only select and from are mandatory. So, as such, when we were looking at the SQL commands, or when I was describing about relational database management system, I was talking to you about relations, attributes and tuples. So, now that we will try to look out how these values would get manipulated or inserted, deleted, all these becomes a part of manipulation. Updation, insertion, deletion, all this can happen. So, how does this SQL syntax affect or modify the entire values? So, initially some person can ask me from a table to list complete details of all the staff who are working for a company. So, for which I require a complete details of a staff database, from where as per this query I may have to highlight the full details of the staff database. In that case, I will write the syntax as select staff number, first name, last name, address, position, his sex, date of birth, salary, branch number. This is part of the extension that we have carried out during our previous session. This was the table that I have considered during the previous session, and this should also indicate from which table. So, now that we have got almost around 9 attributes that are to be projected as part of this query, since the query has full details that are to be presented, either it could be written in this format representing each and every attribute from the relation, or we can in turn write it as select star from staff, which also would mean all columns and all rows of that particular table would be retrieved. So, instead of mentioning all the attributes that is available within the database, we can even carry out this by putting a simple star. So, this star replaces all the attributes that is available with the database. Not only that, it also lists out all the tuples that is available with the database. So that is why this slide has a title called all columns and all rows. If suppose a complete table need to be listed, before beginning with the application, if I wanted to understand how many list of columns and how many list of rows are available with my table, from that I may go and condense it, bring it to a smaller format, for which I may have to understand the complete table list. So it can use a star as an abbreviation for all columns. So select star from staff, which would simply mean all columns and all rows of that particular table will be retrieved. So now this is the table, and by simply projecting the command of select star from staff would have listed out all the values in this format. To understand specific columns and all rows, we may have to go for an alternate case. Here we will not be able to give directly a star, because the star would list out all the columns and all the rows, whereas there should be an alternate mechanism by where we can retrieve specific columns but all rows of that columns. So produce a list of salaries for all staff showing only staff number, first name, last name and salary. Although a word of all staff has been projected here, I wanted list of salaries, but then for all staff it should be listed, but the ultimate result is to project only with staff number, first name and last name. If you go back and understand from this table, the intention is to identify the salary of all staffs who are available in this particular table, but I don't have to project their sex, date of birth, position, branch number and so. Instead, I wanted details of staff number, first name, last name and salary alone. In that juncture, I will be using select. Here that star need to be replaced with what is to be projected. So staff number, first name, last name, salary from the staff table would fetch us out with a complete list of salaries for staff number with function first name and last name. So this is the indication. Here this position will also not be included. Staff number, first name, last name and salary. This is for a specific column. And we have seen to the syntax where it showed initially with a select clause, select with distinct or all. Now that we have seen for all, either it could be distinct also. How to use this distinct value? List the property numbers of all properties that have been viewed. Here I am very specific that I needed only property number. It should be distinct enough to list only property numbers. Select property number from viewing, so which will list only that column. But then if you look at these values, there are some redundancies that are available with this single column and all row value. If you closely observe, although I have listed with all the property numbers that have been viewed, but then one value is being repeated twice. The other value is PG4, which is also been done twice. So it is needless to say that why should we access this particular record of PA14 and PG14 to be repeated twice in my table. So to reduce this, at the final stage we will include another syntax which is distinct, where we will insert between select and property name, select distinct property number from viewing, which alternates the previous redundancies. So it avoids redundancies by just projecting a value called distinct. So using distinct is majorly to eliminate duplicates that are available within the either the row or the column. So, select distinct property number from viewing reduces 5 tuples to 3 tuples now. So, that means we have avoided duplicates. Now, to calculate on the fields, produce a list of monthly salaries. So, whatever that I am trying to present as a sentence here, those are a natural language queries. We will convert these natural language queries into a SQL syntax, then we will appropriately present with what is the resultant. My query here is produce a list of monthly salaries for all staff showing staff number, first and last name and salary. As such, when we go back and look at our table that we have represented, we have given an overall value wherein we have not projected as year or monthly salary. Assume we have whatever salary that we have stored was an yearly salary. Now that we have to, as per this requirement for in this natural language, it has specifically mentioned produce a list of monthly salaries. So, monthly salary need to be calculated. So, we introduce a formula here, select staff number, first name, last name. So, these are the values that are to be projected. Apart from it, position is also required. So, you insert a position here, and not just the salary as mentioned in the reference table, but I wanted the salary for every month. So, salary divided by 12. So, whatever salary that we had earlier, that should be divided by 12 from the staff table, which gives you this value. So, this value will never give you a value of salary overall and another column of salary monthly projected. So, since the value that is to be projected is salary divided by 12, for every row, whatever salary that we have presented in the actual table, that will be divided by 12 and will be presented here. In this case, it should have been 12,000. So, 12,000 divided by 12 would have become 1000 now. Now, the another query that we have is to name a column using as a clause. Select staff number, first name, last name, salary. So, this is what we have projected in the previous table, which has got a monthly salary. Now that I wanted to maintain two different set of tables. One table is to say as a master table, which has all the values of all staff year wise salary maintained. But now that I wanted to have a table which shows the monthly salary. So, the table cannot be named with the same value. So, table name should be separate for the first table and the table name for this should be even separate. So, how to name the second table, for which we may use an ask clause. Select staff number, first name, last name, salary divided by 12 as monthly salary. So, the newly formed table that we have now will be called from now on as monthly salary table from staff. So, having looked at almost all the select from conditions, after which we have indicated on the distinct and star values. Now that we will look at certain where conditions. So, for using this where, we may have to go for some comparison search condition. My query here is list all staff with salary greater than 10,000. In this particular case, we might write it in a very simple query language. Select staff number, F name, L name, position, salary. So, instead of that, now that we have learnt, we can use a star. So, this entire list of 5 attributes can be replaced by a star. Select star from staff where the salary should be greater than 10,000. So, I can change these values light a bit. List all staff who has salary greater than or equal to 10,000 would now has a advanced constraint. So, anybody who has had 10,000 as a salary will now would have not projected in this table, but greater than or equal to would introduce 10,000 also as a value. So, by restricting this, look at the salary column. Anything that is more than 10,000 alone is presented here. for which all the individual records with a complete list of columns is being taken. So we may indicate a comparison operator as greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, or salary equal to 10,000. So all these operators can be redundantly checked on. So that flowed as a simple comparison condition. Now that we will go for a compound comparison condition where we wanted to have either or type. So now that I wanted to indicate, select all the columns, select star from branch where city should be Chennai, as I have indicated that should be given within the quote, or city is equal to New Delhi. So any one of these value, city should be Chennai or New Delhi, that should be taken, and for which all the rows and all the columns are to be listed out. So the result of this particular table would be branch number, street, city, postal code. But the refinement is defined very specifically as either it should be Chennai or it should be New Delhi. So if you look at this column value alone, it will be either New Delhi or it will be Chennai, for which all the other records will be highlighted. As a summary for this session, we have started with understanding the history of SQL. Initially it was named as Structured English Query Language, and later on it was pronounced as SQL, but then it was written as SQL, just as a structured query language. So that is how it got transformed, and different versions got introduced from 92, 99, where it was all been adopted under Oracle. 92 has the basic capabilities that are to be performed on the SQL database. Now with higher versions on 99, it was introduced to object orientation, and we introduced certain words called reserved words and user defined words, and there were different syntax that was part of the SQL, like select, from, where, order by, having, group by classes. And we have been looking at simple commands as in the beginning with comparison and compound comparison values. Thank you.